Nicholas Bayerle, like Bear Aspirin with a Lee, right? All
Yes,
the
sir.
way from my backyard here in Temecula, California. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on.
So, I appreciate somebody with $1 billion body talking to somebody with like a 37-cent body. So it's very gracious of you to come on the show, man.
Dude, absolutely. It's been a long time in the making. I know we got to meet each other down here in Temecula because we're just a stone throw away. We probably should see each other a lot more. I'm just excited with what you're doing and your community you're bringing.
Well, anytime you want to watch my kids, you can come over and see me.
Yeah, anytime you want to leave me with the kids. I was just with Jay Abraham up in LA just 2 nights ago, and he has 4 kids, and he was just sitting there asking, "Can you adopt them? Can you adopt them? Can you go watch them?" And that's all he wanted to
Are
talk
they
about
little?
was well, no, they're old.
Oh.
I think 25 was the youngest, or 21 was the youngest, all the way up to 40 something. So he said they're expensive.
Jay can afford them. He's all right. I think he's going to make it.
Yeah.
So, man, for our listeners who may not know what you're up to, would you mind take a minute or two, give a little thumbnail sketch, and we'll dive down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was 17 years old, I was 60 pounds overweight, gave up on everything in life, and just like I had a 1.8 GPA. I gave up being a professional athlete, which was my number one goal, and I never had one girlfriend during all of high school. And it wasn't until I had a shift where a boxer had showed me his meal plan that he had to weigh in at the correct weight, where I saw that, one, there was a plan for health, but B, he tied it to performance. Because he needed to eat that way to be able to perform, because he already was lean. We were young. I was fat and the easiest time to be skinny, by the way. And then that attracted my wife and also gave me the motivation and also the confidence to go out there and build a business. So what did I build it in? I built it in what I was good at, which was health. After years of studying and now like 15 certifications that I don't even renew anymore because nobody even asks about them, I launched the $1 billion Body, and I realized, who do I want to work with? Who are the people I want to help change lives? And when it came down to it, and it came to the male entrepreneur, number one in men's health, and we have the highest net worth coaching community out of any health community on the planet right now. So that's what we've been up to at the $1 billion Body, is serving male entrepreneurs and influencers and help them look and feel like $1 billion.
Very nice. I want to go back to something you mentioned there, that the 15 certifications you don't even renew anymore. It's like I see that all over. I mean, I just got done, at the Trafficking Conversion Summit, and all types of companies sell all types of certifications. And I see people, I think they're like professional certificate gatherers. And so I love the fact that you brought that up. Why did you think you needed all those certifications, and then why do you not need them anymore?
So it's just that whole thing about the certification process, and the actual learning that you get from it is what you really want. The certification you think is going to bring validity to what you do, but being a guy who graduated the 1.8 GPA and didn't go to college at all, you would really hope that doesn't go against it. It's kind of like the IQ test. If you have a high IQ, you think the IQ test is cool. If you don't have it, you think it's just crap and you don't want any of it. So, I didn't have a diploma. I didn't have any of that. So I went out and I tried to get all the certifications, worked with Rob Wolf, which is like the biggest paleo guy, did all that stuff. And I realized at the end of the day, not one client, not one person had ever asked me about if I had a certification besides a health person that was like 60 years old one time. Literally, out of thousands of clients and also tens of thousands of conversations, no one's ever asked me, what are you certified in?
Right. Yeah, I use that analogy all the time in my events. And usually I'll ask women because they usually have, a regular doctor they'll see twice a year, whereas men, we may go 10 years and not see a doctor. But I'll ask them, like, who has a regular physician, and I'll choose a woman that raises her hand. I'm like, how long have you known your OB, right? Your OBGYN. And I try to find somebody like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, the same doctor. And I'll say, do you know where your doctor went to school? Right? And maybe 1 out of 10 will say, oh yeah, UCLA or whatever, right? And 1 out of 10. And I'm like, do you know where your doctor did their residency? Do they have any advanced certifications? What brand of stethoscope do they use, right? And they realize they don't know any of that. And yet they trust this person, right? They undress for this person twice a year and let them poke and prod, very intimate exam. And I'm like, why do you trust that person, right? And it's that bedside manner, right? It's not the degrees. Obviously in that world, they need a minimum certification, right? They have to be an MD. But beyond that, you don't care where they went. You just care how they treat you. And that's, so I'm glad you brought that up, because people need to realize that they're buying you, right? They're buying the confidence. They're buying how you make them feel. And I love you said, it was the knowledge you got from that versus the piece of paper. So it's not that certifications aren't valuable, right? At least the learning of it. But I see so many people are like, oh, I'm going to get this certification and then I'm going to be on Easy Street. Like they think people are just Googling, right? ABC certification. Who can I give my money to? And
yeah, even with the speaking certifications, the whole point, even if you go to personal training for us, which is the basic of what we do, you go through it, and then knowing about the human body is the good part, but renewing your personal training certificate doesn't do anything. No one's ever said anything. And at the end of the day, you said, yeah, people want to work with me, but on top of that, the second part is they just want the result that they get. Because for me, unfortunately, nobody wants to eat healthy. No one wants to work out. No one wants a coach. No one wants any of that. They just want what that can give them. And so if eating unhealthy and not having a coach and not working out made them feel like awesome, and they went out and crushed it in business, their relationships, they came home full of energy, I would tell everyone to do that. It's just the fact that that's what's giving them the mass results. So at the end of the day, as long as the results are rolling in, the people are, having experiences that are like none other, then that's ultimately what they're wanting at the end of the day, even more than me.
Right.
They want me, but they only want me because I'm giving them a result, like you said, the confidence. They want the energy. They want the different expertise that I can give them as well.
So how do you go from being overweight, lacking the confidence, and then turning that into a business? I mean, most people, they address an issue in their life, right? Whatever it is, overweight, maybe it's money, maybe it's, overcoming addictions, what have you. They don't necessarily turn that into a business. How did you make that shift and know that's where you want it to go? And then how did you do it?
Yeah, so that actually took me a very long time. When I was 60 pounds overweight, my biggest thing that I was annoyed with, especially after I had dropped it, I dropped 53 pounds in 6 months, and I did it terribly. I starved myself, had no coach. No one targeted me with a Facebook ad. Nobody put an awesome podcast like this out for me that I could just listen to while I'm driving and switch my whole life forever. So I was 60 pounds overweight, dropped it, and then I looked at my pictures and I realized these are not a representation of who I am. So I ripped them all up. I have no pictures from when I was overweight besides one and then my driver's license, because I tore up every single picture that even when I met my wife now, I was about 18 when I met her. We got married when I just had turned 20. She never knew that I was actually overweight before that. I'd never told her until we got engaged. She looked at my driver's license. I told her that I was overweight but didn't show her the pictures because I didn't think it was a good representation of who I actually am on the inside. The body I've created now expresses who I am, and you get to feel like and get to know me a little bit better just from the way that I look. So starting a business in that area, it wasn't necessarily because of my transformation. There's a lot of brave people on Instagram now that are 400 pounds overweight, and they track the progress from the beginning.
Right.
I was way too insecure for that. You kidding me? I had the lowest self-esteem, the most insecurities out of any person I had ever met on the planet, and I believe, and I still have not met anyone with more insecurities than I did in that moment. And so the biggest thing was that I went through that for a reason. I would never take that back because it's given me so much insight. They always say if you want to take the speck out of your eye, take the log out of yours, or take the speck out of someone else's. The only reason you can see something that's going on in someone else's life is because you've experienced it in yours, or you're going through the freaking problem yourself right now.
Right.
And so, yeah, so I went through so much. And so because of that, it's so easy for me to also see, but it makes me be like the doer rather than just the person that knows. The professor at the college that teaches business, he knows how to run a business. He just hasn't really gone through the struggles and the heartache of doing it. And then you have the multi-billion-dollar business owner that may not have time or the expertise to teach you, but he also has actually gone through it. He knows the emotions. He knows the mental side of it, not just the how to do it. You can Google how to do it. So when you have the best of both worlds together, that's when things really collided. So it wasn't until people just started encouraging me that I finally started sharing my story. And as I started sharing my story, I realized that there was lots more people to be reached. But I'll tell you the truth. 4 years ago, I would have never even shared my story, which was the thing that was holding me from my breakthrough, something so fake that had me so full of fear. My life is no different. Nobody dislikes me because I was overweight a couple years ago. So if you have something that you went through that then became a passion and a purpose, there's always people out there that you can help transform their life, whether you want to create it into a business or you owe it to people to go out there and share that breakthrough with them, whether you do it for money or not.
Yeah, it's that before and after, right? That helps people connect. They see that you're a real person, and they realize that they're not alone, right? They're like, oh wow, if you can do it, all right, maybe I can do it.
Yeah, if they look at my picture, they get pretty encouraged. I'll tell you that.
That's crazy. So did you find a coach? Did you find somebody that gave you that confidence? Was it your wife? I mean, because again, how did you make that shift to say, all right, I'm going to start teaching people how to do this, how to do what I did?
Yeah, so really it came down to a crunch. I was always an entrepreneur. Started my first business when I was 12. It was a lawn care company because I live in San Diego and it's sunny all the time, so I could do that year round. We were making $500 a week or every 2 weeks depending on the time of the season. And it wasn't until I started gaining weight that I became too insecure. I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to do the work. Got rid of that business. So then when I got married, I had no job. I never worked for anyone else. Never was going to. All I did was help run my family's company. Other than that, couldn't convince myself. So at that point, I had to realize, what are my non-negotiables? Like, what are the things that I want to do, but also what are the things that I'm not going to do? Because I'm not going to go be separated from my wife all the time. So I need to figure out what can I do, and that was my expertise. So at first, it was network marketing because I could hook up with a health product. I could go out there. They did all the work for me. And so that's how we made all of our money to go out there and start our own business. So it was a progression of, one, knowing what I wanted out of the future, but equally that showed me what I didn't want at all, what my non-negotiables were. And it was easy for me to only have 50 choices to go execute on, and I was only good at 2 of them. So at that point, I X'd out 48, and I also X'd out 5 million different things I could do. So really it's been a focus on, okay, what do I want to do? Also, what can I do and what's my skill at? Because even if you did go drop 100 pounds right now, that doesn't mean you're actually good at teaching or being a coach or selling or all these different skills, especially that you teach. These are skills that you build up over time. A gymnast, the reason they're so good at gymnastics is because they did it since they were 5. And so if you go try to compete with the Olympic gymnast team right now, even if you've been doing it for 5 years, you're going to lose. So there is a point of just refining the skill as well, and that's where the certifications, the learning, talking to people like you have come in, where I'm just trying to get better, and I'm executing only on my strengths, because if I'm executing on my weaknesses, there's someone else that has those as strengths. So I've just stayed in my exact lane. Health has just been my deal. Teaching's been my deal. Selling's been my deal. Speaking's been my deal. But all the emails, writing, all those different things definitely were not my deal. So I've had to find a way to have other people help me in that. So the process was, man, I don't want to be away from my wife. And I also don't want to be a bum. So there's 48 things I could do, and I am not good at 46 of them. So I'll choose between the 2, whether I want to sell someone else's product or sell mine. So I chose mine.
Yeah. Very cool. So what was the first thing you did? Did you build a website? Did you start with social media? Did you start an email newsletter? Did you try to do all of it at the same time?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. So let's say after I got out of network marketing, right? We made
Right.
hundreds of thousands in network marketing and I lost it overnight, like every single thing. So
What?
just yeah, I had a whole team in San Diego and some other company said, "Hey, Nicholas makes you work so hard. If you come over to our company, all you have to do is buy in and then we'll make sure that you get people underneath you." They were all actually people I knew because in network marketing, that's kind of what you do. You just kind of sign up everyone you know. So, I had hundreds of people down here in San Diego. I moved down here from Northern California, and all those people left because when one person leaves, the next person left, left, and we lost about $38,000 a month or something like that in one foul swoop. That was of business volume. So it was really, detrimental to everything. So that's what really we cashed out and decided, how can we have full control over this? I don't want to have all these different things always going on. If the company goes out of business, then I'm out of business. I got to go somewhere else.
Yep.
So we just decided at that point that we're going to build the $1 Billion Body, which is our new name. It used to be the True Challenge. And what happened was that we did go and buy the website. We bought all these different things, Infusionsoft. We bought everything. And they were totally not even needed at the time,
Right.
to be honest. I believe right now, if you can't make six figures without a website, then you're doing it wrong. I believe that the website's going to help you make a lot more money, but if you're relying on the website or the emails or any of that even to actually make you the money, then there's a problem. There's a gap because you have the skills right now. If Wes right now, everyone listening, if Wes lost his business, this guy could go out and sell anyone's thing and go make it. So the ability to sell, the ability to connect and build trust, those were the things that were actually valuable at the time of building the business. We built the relationships, got clients, and did everything off of our website for the first year until we made our first six figures in our company. And then after that, we reinvested in making a better website so that we can make more money, but it didn't help us make money in the beginning at all.
So let's go back to that because I like what you're saying because you bought all the bells and whistles but realized it was all overkill, right? You're juggling, like almost getting more certifications, right? Well, I have to learn how this controls an API that sends an SMS that sends a two-step opt-in to a landing page that's mobile responsive and that puts a retargeting pixel on them 43 seconds after they scroll through 52% of the page. And I mean, you end up just majoring in the minors, right?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's the same as the certifications. People think, and maybe there's someone listening right now that thinks the same way, that they don't have everything inside of them to go do what they want to do. They think they have to go set something else up, or they want the easy way out. Like you said about the certifications, if I have this, everyone's going to Google it and then all of a sudden come to my name and everyone's going to care. No one's going to care, really. No one's going to come to you whether you have an awesome looking website or all these different things. You want to buy the bells and whistles because you think it's going to make it easier. You buy the nice car. I even did it. I bought a $35,000 car when I was 20 and I had no money at all, only because I was like, I want to try to attract more people. I don't think my car got me $1. So at the end of the day, it was really just for me. So the bells and whistles, they make you feel like it's going to help you succeed. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's in control. And that's why there's tons of people that throw money at every single course and they make no dollars. Right. And then there's people that just go out there and bang their head against the wall and they go make money. And we need to bridge the gap because you could go bang your head against the wall, make $100,000 and hate your life. And that's cool. But you go to Wes and all of a sudden you learn how to sell, you learn how to build trust, you learn all these different techniques. And it takes the unrefined person. We always talk about gold. Gold's not worth anything until it's refined. So even though if you have the same content of gold inside of you, until it's refined, it's not worth anything. You're worthless. Like simple, it's just that. And so you could go make some money by yourself, but ultimately that hard work. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't think he was the smartest guy when it came to nutrition or working out, but dude worked out 6 hours a day. Right. So who is going to beat him? No matter, well, I don't see.
He also took some big supplements that may or may not have been legal, but anyway, I digress.
Yeah, but even before that, man, the guy was huge. Like at 17, 18, I'm looking at him going, this guy just has genetics out the wazoo, eats a lot of food, and lifts really heavy and puts in the work ethic. Right. And so Dave Asprey would never beat him, even though he knows how to biohack everything. He'll never have the muscle mass that he does because you can only get that with hard work. So if they both came together and Arnold Schwarzenegger would have had him back in the day, he would have been even better. He already had the skills inside of him. Right. If you can't go out there, sell, build trust, all those different things, then that's what you need to work on. And if you want to be refined and learn from people like you that have done it, been there, had what have you had? Tens of thousands of conversations probably just by yourself?
Oh, yeah. I've been in sales for 20 years, so yeah.
Yeah, and you've seen the curves. You know where things are going, and you've seen the things that work and don't work. And that's what I'm really impressed with is there's lots of people that go out there and do it on their own. They'll have a bad website, for instance, even if they're selling and doing well. But that pride of having a bad website while doing all that can sometimes stint your growth because you're thinking, I did it without a website.
Right.
So, and it's just like we all can agree that if you have a great looking website that represents your brand and attracts your ideal client, it's going to help you make more money, not make money though. And I believe that that's where the gap's missing.
Yeah. So for everybody listening, I mean, you did put up a website, right? But it was just something simple. Was it just kind of like a digital calling card so you could point people to it?
No, we had a badass website and we had people go into it. We only had about 6,000 people a month going to our website, but they weren't taking action on anything. No. So at the end of the day, we had to just do it old school, and we ended up just building landing page. So we just went and built a landing page with an opt-in just to be like, hey, here's kind of what we do. If you want to be connected to what we do, just put in your name and information here. And we just did that everywhere we went. We decided instead of trying to reach 15 million people on Facebook, I decided to go and speak at 10, 15-person events that led to 100-person events, that led to 50-person masterminds, that led to 400-person events. So it was this process of the quality over quantity. If I go speak at a 10-person event right now on my expertise and you're actually good at what you do and they're your ideal market, I can easily just go home after that, follow up with all 10 of them, point them in the right direction, whether they want to get connected to Wes or whether they want my service. And at the end of the day, I can close 3, 4, or 5 people just out of that. And so it really comes down to that quality over quantity. I go speak at a mastermind, 30% will join my one-on-one coaching. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, you have to be good for sure. But the second thing is quality over quantity has been pretty much the name of the game for us.
So in those early days, what were you selling? Just one-on-one coaching?
Yeah, so we did it backwards. Everyone says have a value ladder. Have a small product that leads to a medium product that leads to a big product. And again, I'm sure that probably works, but for me mentally, it didn't work at all. I just wanted a high success rate, so I created a one-on-one coaching where I could work with someone for 3 months or 6 months at the time and really walk them through a transformation where I was working on their plans. Everything was customized for them. So that was actually started out at $1,900, and we pretty much it took so much work that at the end of the day, it was like the cheapest program anyone could ever buy. We thought we were having high ticket one-on-one coaching, but that's where our belief was at our product. And so also, if you're starting a business, people only pay for 50% of what you think it's worth. So if you think you're only worth the $1,900 that I was saying my coaching program is worth, well then the person on the other side is probably going to only think it's worth $900. Mm-hmm. And so I needed to up my belief in what I was selling, and that was pretty much the only difference that happened, because you could sell someone into any program, and if you're not good, you could still sell them. They just won't ever re-sign. You'll never get referrals, and you'll never get more customers. Mm-hmm. But you could still sell someone. And if you're good, though, then you'll get referrals, more customers. And so upping the belief in what I was doing was the only thing that was missing, because we always had a good product. We always have had a 100% success rate. We've had 0 refunds out of 1,000 one-on-one coaching clients, and it's unheard of in our industry. But I wasn't signing up any coaching clients back there at the time, even though I had all the knowledge, all the brain power. And the reason was, I believe, is because I had no belief in what I was doing. I was trying to convince myself as I was trying to convince the customer. So that through that process of raising my belief, it's also helped me raise our process and our prices, where we've been able to not only charge more, but we're able to actually change their life more as well, where the price has gone up, the value's doubled each time. Mm-hmm. So every time the price goes up 1,000, the value goes up 2. Right. And that's been a really fun process where I can stand up and go, man, this thing's worth so much more than you're paying right now, because deep down I believe it, and then they believe 50% of it, which still at the end of the day comes out being more value than what they're paying.
So I think this will be an interesting answer for our listeners. When you raise your prices, do you add anything to the program, or do you just recognize, hey, I'm better, I'm going to charge more?
So I do a little bit of both. I'm always brainstorming. We always start with the highest program first. What would be the craziest thing that we could do for our clients that would just be the most amazing thing ever? Like fly to Dubai and go meet with all the billionaires, like whatever it is, and figure out how much that would cost, what that would look like, and then we work our way backwards. So I always have ideas to make us the only and the best. The only thing that the $1 billion body does is two different things. We're the only company that does certain things, and we're the best at what we do. So not all the times do we keep adding things, because at the end of the day, people aren't paying me for all these cool processes and all this other junk. They're paying me for the result that I'm going to get them at the end of the day.
Right.
And so I sell them on the result that they want, and then the process I build based on whatever result they want. So if I butter it up and put all these things in it, no one really wants the things. Nobody wants the process. Nobody even wants to go through the coaching program. They just want what my coaching program is going to give them at the end of the day and the experience that they're going to have. So I really rarely, I barely up it, but my price, I could double my price right now and not change anything. And it wouldn't make any difference. People just believe whatever, it's all perceived value.
Right.
When I go to a millionaire that is failing at home, that's failing in his business, even though he's making tons of money, but he feels burnout, can't get his health back. He realizes that out of everything that he has, 9 cars, huge house, Xbox in every room, all these things, he can't buy his health. And that scares him because he realizes that all that money he made can't do anything. All of a sudden, the perceived value for me having 100% success rate, 100% money back guarantee if they don't have a transformation, it becomes real where they have no risk. I take all the risk. And they're willing to pay. I go, what would you pay for this right now? And they may go $100,000. And I go, great. Well, I'm not going to charge you $100,000 for this, $12,500. Let's just do that, right? At that point, they're already ready to spend a lot more because they understand that, man, this is the only way I'm going to be able to get this. I can't buy my health back.
Right. And then, I love what you're talking about. Selling the process, or selling the result, not the process. So are you still selling one-on-one coaching?
Yeah, so it's actually our highest revenue generator today. We have tons of free products like the billiondollarbody.com/testosterone, the billiondollarbody.com/challenge. These are our top free products that we used to sell. And we just decided that the people we want to work with, we don't want their small amount of money that gets them an entry fee into what we do. Instead, we made these amazing products that we spent thousands of dollars on, and some of them 10,000 hours of research, and we give them away for free. And then going up from there, we have a group coaching program, then one-on-one. But my one-on-one is typically what we end up doing more of, because at the end of the day, people want not just a program, but they want context. You can buy, I have a friend right now, I just went out to dinner with him last night. His Amazon course is like $395 a month if you just want the course. If you want to work with them, it's like $10,000 or $25,000. And the only difference is them. And everyone, for the most part, the only people go to the big product, and the only people that fail don't. They go to the small one. So at the end of the day, that context, being able to have that coach there and walk you through it, it's not only going to cost more, but it's going to give you more results. But which one actually costed more at the end of the day? The guy who spent $25,000 and succeeded, or the guy that spent maybe $1,000 on monthly payments and didn't do anything? At the end of the day, that guy actually was cost more than the guy who spent more money.
Do you ever worry that one-on-one just doesn't scale, or that you'll get burned out?
To an extent, definitely, but at the end of the day, I live a really simple life. So we could do multiple 6 figures with one-on-one coaching, and that's actually the thing that I have most control over. I can connect with people, make sure that I see their value. That's the one thing out of everything. And there's no internet platform that I need to be able to do that. I can fully control that bit. And what I've used that for is to create all our lower level products. How can I make our lower level products amazing rather than starting at low level and trying to fantasize on what it would be like that our clients would be going through if they went through a coaching session. I just did tons of those one-on-ones so that I can have the best context for our group coaching. I know exactly what people go through on week 1, exactly what they go through on week 2, exactly what they go through on month 3. And I know exactly what we've had to teach over that time, and that allowed me to shape and create a group coaching program that allows people to come in for like a 12th of the price and be able to have that same type of experience in teaching. So at the end of the day, I thought it was a great training ground, and I know that I will not want to keep doing just that in the future, though. Definitely diversify. Just as you want multiple streams of income coming in from different places, you also want multiple streams in your business, and people find that out real in the hard ways. And there's a quote that I love. A wise man learns from his mistakes, but an even wiser man learns from someone else's. So I just talk to people like Wes and be like, hey, Wes, I have one coaching program right now, and it takes all my time. Is that good? And he goes, no, you should probably do these things, right? So at the end of the day, just as context matters, I would never buy an info product, to be honest. I just wouldn't go through it. I may buy it if I had an employee or maybe a team member that would go through it. But at the end of the day, I would spend $5,000 over $500 to get context, to make sure that the person's looking me in the eye, because it's not just the content, because the info product will have really good content, but I need to believe that that content's going to work for me.
Right.
And that belief allows me to do it, and doing it with belief equals a result. So doing it plus the belief is what's going to cause the result.
I think Mary Kay's trifecta motto was, you have to answer in the minds of the prospects. Is it easy? Does it work? Can I do it?
So good.
Right? And if you can answer that, then you can make a sale.
Absolutely.
And I think she built a pretty decent business.
Yeah, still around today,
motto,
doing billions, right? I'm sure.
So do you have is it a set coaching program? Say, hey, look, this is what you get. That's it. Or do you tailor it, or are they signing up for 90 days or 1 year, or is there a 90-day, 6-month, or 1 year?
Yeah, so we have a 90-day, 6-month, and 1 year. It's exactly what we have. And so you've done, those were intuition guiding you. So as you go up the ladder of what we have, we usually get people started, whether they jump in with our one-on-one or they go through our 90-day, which is more of our group program. But even our group program, if you're in a small group of 6, usually 4 out of 6 will have a 7-figure business. So not only are you actually having a community of health, but you're also killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because you're not connecting with people that aren't like-minded. Your accountability group for health isn't some guy that works down the street at a job that isn't really looking to go further in life. So that program, the customization is I jump on a 1-hour video call with them every 2 weeks. I get on, I teach, but even more than that, I do Q&A, because I can teach on video. Again, I'm not there to teach them. I send them the videos for the teaching. I get on for context, and I put contextual information in so they can execute on the plans. Those plans are more general for sure, because there's just no way we could have hundreds or thousands of people getting tailored plans like that. But once you go to our one-on-one, we are known as not the one-size-fits-all, but the custom-tailored suit. That's what we're known for. Every single program out there in the world right now, they want to scale so much that they make you like a one-size-fits-all rental suit.
Right.
Have you ever shown up anywhere in a rental suit and felt awesome? No, you don't feel awesome. Not as awesome as if you have this custom, high-quality, tailored suit that's built around your body, your frame, and you go in there with confidence. Not only that, it's actually better value, because the rental, yeah, cool, you pay money, but you don't get the suit. You buy the custom-tailored suit, that thing lasts you however long, as you don't get out of shape. So, the custom-tailored suit is what we do. We build the plans based on their lifestyle. We have a whole team that just sits here all day and just looks at people's travel plans. You're traveling west from here to Las Vegas? Cool. Well, we know exactly what's in each airport that you could eat, what you could order, what restaurants are right next to your hotel, so you don't have to Yelp them, and you could take clients there in confidence, not even have to look at your menu, which for someone like you, another 10, 20 minutes of conversation ends up being a big value add, because, again, perceived value. So the custom tailored suit is exactly what we sell, because we don't do that one-size-fits-all thing, and that's why we've had 100% success rate.
Right. That's awesome. That's like a little um, concierge, huh?
Yeah, that's what makes us different. We'll just go above and beyond. You know, people,
Right.
uh, our coaching clients and our coaching groups, check this out. Every single health company, if you don't do the product, like if you don't take it or ingest it or do the program, you don't really get a money back guarantee at the end of the day. You may have a certain amount of time, but if you don't do it, they say it's your fault. We do the opposite. We say it's our fault if you don't do it. So at the end of the day, we do money back guarantee at the end of the program after we've spent all the money. And on top of that, we say it's our fault if you didn't even do it. So then at the end of the day, even the qualification process in the beginning we have to really set the boundary, really tell people that it's not just easy, there are hard times. And so we actually tell people, imagine the worst day of your life every single day for 6 months. And if you're willing to do that, then let's do this. And only because anything above that, they're going to be so pumped.
Right.
If you only sell like glitter and fairy dust and you say it's going to be so easy, you're going to get in, you're going to lose tons of weight in this much time, you're going to be shredded in 6 weeks, then anything below that, they're going to be pissed.
Right.
So it's always this balance. We have both at the same time working with it, whether it's they're willing to do whatever, but they're also knowing that this is going to give them a big result. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's what's really differentiated what we do. White glove service, making sure that we have a success rate. Because even insurance, man, health insurance is like $1,500 a month right now. I'm sure that it's crazy for you with family and everything. And I'm sitting here going, how many times have they called you and asked you, like, how's your eating going?
Right.
Like, how's your hydration? Like, what type of minerals are you taking? No, like, never. They never do it. But we just have to pay this big old bill every single month. And at the end of the day, they're not even giving you the value back. It's just preventative. So in China at one point, there was a time when doctors only got paid when you were healthy. And then you only didn't pay them when you were sick.
Nice.
Because you're paying because you're saying, hey, I'm healthy. Thank you. You just do whatever it takes to keep me healthy because that's the only way you get paid. Instead of do whatever you can to keep me kind of sick so I can make a bunch of money.
Well, that's true health care, right? Because really we have sick care now.
Yeah, sick care. They don't take care of the healthy. They take care of the sick. I haven't been to the doctor in 11 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Imagine the worst day of your life every day for 6 months. That sounds like jiu-jitsu, which I just started 6 weeks ago. And every day has been the worst day of my life.
That's so funny, man. I saw your picture actually of you doing jiu-jitsu. I think you did a Facebook Live or something right after one day, right? I saw those pecs out.
I did. I got undressed and showed all my bruises, and I'm like, okay, I am literally out of my comfort zone. So I don't.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
You were showing your bruises? I was thinking, hey, he maybe looked up something that like, you know, someone gets more views and more opt-ins if they have their shirt off. I said, hey, man, that only works for women, not men.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the only time I've ever taken my shirt off on a video and a picture. I'm not too big into that, but I was so bruised and battered. You know, because in the beginning, it's so humbling, right? I mean, I've been doing this 6 weeks. My whole body has been sore for 6 weeks. And, I mean, guys that are, I'm 230 pounds, you know, and I'm pretty strong. And I mean, 160-pound guy. My very first day, and I'm friends with this guy now, and we laugh all the time. He's 62 years old. Okay, my very first day, I had to roll with him, and I couldn't get away from him. He locked his legs around my waist, and I could not get away. He's 62 years old. He's probably 5'7". I think he's 160 pounds, maybe. Right, so I'm 70 pounds heavier than him, 16 years younger. He tore me up. And I'm like, okay, this jiu-jitsu stuff is for real. And it's like life or death chess, right? Because the good guys, it's like they're already 3 or 4 moves ahead of you. And so can you get through with it? And so, you know, in the beginning, everything's too hard, right? You're too inefficient. You're using all your muscles instead of momentum. You have no stamina, so you just get pummeled. And but also your body's not used to it, right? But over time, your body literally hardens, you know. And so I'm getting better. I'm not good, but I'm better. But my body is literally like I have 10% of the bruises that I had 5 weeks ago, you know, when I did that video. Yeah. And so that was the point. I'm like, you always hear people say, get out of your comfort zone. I'm like, no, really, go get uncomfortable, you know? So I love your motto.
And when you do those classes, do you do them with a group all the time, or do you also do private sessions?
They offer private sessions. I haven't done them. These are just group. And, I go midday. It's a 90-minute class. And, we spend 15, 20 minutes warming up. We spend maybe 40 minutes drilling, learning a few moves. And then we spend a good 30 minutes sparring.
Yep.
So
and that was a great example of like they have a group coaching, right? They have a group program, and I'm sure it's obviously discounted compared to the one-on-one, and that fit you in the perfect slot because you're probably interested in doing jiu-jitsu and you see the value of it. And I'm sure that has any of them gone up to you and asked you, hey man, you want to go one-on-one? I see your potential, because for me, I don't buy things not because I don't want them. It's usually because no one tells me why I should.
Right.
They don't tell me even why. What's the value of me buying? I'm not going to just spend more money for no reason. But if you could tell me, and I have many friends like that as well that have amazing companies that maybe I've never bought from because they just never really tell me about it.
Yeah, we just never asked. Right?
Yeah.
Just engage. So, all right, man. So where do people find you? Where do we send them, huh?
Yeah, so they go to the billiondollar-body.com. We have the Billion Dollar Body on Instagram, but if you go to the billiondollar-body.com, you can check out all of our social media links on there. And also we have an event coming up here in San Diego, July 15th and 16th, that's going to be at billiondollarbodylive.com. We have some of the top speakers in the whole world when it comes to men. We're going to have 100 men in the room that not only want to dominate in health, business, and relationships, but they want to do it from a place of fulfillment rather than scarcity. If you feel like you're always chasing the carrot on the stick, always getting healthy and then losing it, getting money and then losing it, always starting out at ground zero again, well, then you're going to want to go to a place of fulfillment so that you can keep all of it and keep growing rather than always chasing what you don't have. If you want to do that, you're going to check out the event.
And if they enter promo code WES, they get to pay twice as much and stand in the back of the room, right?
Yeah, they pay twice as much, stand in the back of the room, and then it's a great time. And they get your mustache card that you're talking about.
Very nice. All right, man. Well, Nicholas, has been fantastic. We'll link to everything, thebilliondollarbody.com, billiondollarbodylive.com. Man, let's hook up for some coffee, and thanks for being a guest on the Sales Podcast. It's been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I really appreciate the time here. I appreciate everyone that listened, and I like diving into the sales because I love the scenarios. I love the thought process and how just one little tip of confidence can cause someone to close 10 deals.
Yep, amen. Well, tell your better half hello, all right?
Absolutely. She's sleeping.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we're going to have to delete this episode then. I thought y'all were like really getting after it, man. Oh. That's nice, though. You got the option. You have the flexibility to live life on your own terms.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Nicholas Bayerle. Thanks for coming on the Sales Podcast, man. Have a great day.
You too.